Hello, Capricorn. Thank you so much for being here, you guys. All right, Cap. Wow. Wow. Like, I've just been absolutely blown away by some of the things that are coming up, but yours is coming up in a really big way. You're going to be surprised, and it's going to be in a good way, but it's only going to be through the changes that you make. So, from Shadows and Light, you pulled Dress of Alchemy, release your power. And then from E, everything is beautiful. Now, with Dress of Alchemy, it's saying that you need to clear out your own energy field, getting rid of jealousy, envy, fear, and guilt. All of that shit needs to be cleared up for you for good. And once you do that, you're going to attract nothing but like strong, bright energy. And you're going to come from a place of love, courage, and wisdom. And you will attract the right things to you and you won't be misled. But it also warns that do not expect to have no changes after seeing this card. Relationships and situations based on ego-centered concepts containing toxic energies will fall away naturally. And you will now ask for your worth. So once you start like standing up for yourself, things are going to really change in a big way. Now, everything is beautiful. Get ready to be dumbfounded in the best possible way. You will be speechless at how beautiful your life really is. Things that once seemed common that you often took for granted are about to show off their true colors. Real beauty is about to come into focus. You can thank the universe later. So, all right, Cap, here we go. Here's your overall for the week. Yeah. Oh, my goodness. You and Aquarius, both. The Queen of Wands. And again, like I said before, self-image comes up with her. Now, again, we could be dealing with the fire sign. Jesus Christ, I'm like curious to see how this is different for you, especially with Dress of Alchemy showing up. Like I felt for Aquarius that they were changing because of somebody coming through. But for you, it's really about you doing this for yourself now. Now, with the Queen of Wands, right, we could be talking about a person, we could be talking about a fire sign, but it's self-image. So feeling more enthusiastic about things, better able to manage what is happening here, feeling really attractive, feeling really good, getting that attention. But we'll see. Now, in the past, the Four of Wands, I kind of feel iffy on it. Now, the Four of Wands as a past coming through, first of all, is not a bad thing. This is saying that, in the past you felt like you've hit that milestone, right? But there's that celebration there. I think of commitment and building a life with someone when I see this card. But if you've hit this point, how are we continuing? I would rather have seen that in like future conditions. Okay, so strength, needing to tap into your inner strength here. Like I said, I feel iffy about it, and I'm waiting. But so the way that I'm feeling about this is if you're looking at the Four of Wands as a past coming through, at one point there was stability. The feeling like you've hit a big milestone in your life. And like celebrating that. Now, if we're talking about like the commitment that you're making with somebody, right? When you're looking at strength, for some reason here, you're needing to pull on your inner resolve to continue. But like, again, with the Queen of Wands, like needing to be more confident in yourself. Shit. Future conditions, the Five of Swords. So, that bothers me. At one point, there's stability. But something does change. But I feel like you're changing though, too. Now, with the Five of Swords coming out, there's... I don't think it's you. Like, I don't think it's you that's intentionally trying to win a battle. Like, I feel more so like you're being put through it. Like, you need to fight for yourself. You may be dealing with, like, arguments and miscommunications, things like that. Like, I've always said with the Five of Swords, it's just bullshit. It's ego-driven. And again, Dress of Alchemy, ego, right? I don't so much see ego, though, with the Queen of Wands. Now, you could definitely be dealing with somebody who's got, like, some ego issues. But I don't know. Because of that being your overall, I feel more like this is what you're needing to work toward. Like, I almost feel like you need to feel better about who you are and turn your back on this. But I do think that some of you are looking at difficulty here in future conditions. especially in like a committed situation, because you are pulling on your inner resolve to continue dealing with this. And unfortunately, it seems to be like a persistent thing. Oh, Cap. No shit. Your best path to follow, the Tower. Now, when I see this as a person's advice, it's basically saying that everything needs to come fucking crashing down right now. You are going to be the one that needs to clear it all the fuck away. All the fake shit, all that's got to go. You're going to have to make sudden, drastic changes. Especially if you're looking at the Five of Swords. Like, at one point, you know, like I said, there's this stability, but with this going on, it's almost like in order to like break this, everything has to change on a big, big scale here. But I see you as being okay, you know? I mean, even if you're talking about you dealing with the fire sign, like I feel like this is the energy because of it, you know? I mean, it would have been different if we were looking at the King of Wands, but with the Queen, it's like everybody is needing to get to a place where they feel better about who they are. And I think the only way that you're going to get to a place where you feel good about you is when you make these drastic changes, no matter what it is. So if we're talking about like work, you may have felt like it was a stable thing for you, but continuously having to battle is not a good thing, right? And it needs to change, and you need to make drastic changes. We're talking about a relationship. You may have to move out, or somebody else needs to move the fuck out. You know, and I hate to put it that way, but with this being here, you know, and then you having to like not get angry. But like I said, with this, it's everything's got to change. And like now in your environment, wow, the Wheel of Fortune. So now when I'm looking at it this way, like I do think that, you know, first of all, you're talking about the ending of a cycle with the Wheel of Fortune. Absolutely, it is about better things coming through. Fate and destinies. This was meant to happen. That's the other thing. But if we're talking about a repeating cycle, and you're looking at this in future conditions, it's no wonder why this is here, because it's like you see it coming. Like you see it happening over and over and over again. And I hate saying that with the Wheel of Fortune, but we're only at the 10 here. So you're going to have to go right back through 1 through 9 once you get past this cycle. Are you going to continue to do this? You know, that's what I feel like. It shouldn't have to be a repeating thing. But like I feel like this is where you're at right now. And this is probably the best thing that you can do for yourself, is to make final and complete drastic changes so that things are not repeating in that way where you need to be like, oh shit, here it comes again. Why can't I just have a repeat of the stability? You know, because these two, I mean, that's rough when you move from the Four of Wands to this. But I still feel like, you know, there is a real opportunity for you to have a better cycle, though, once you get past this. You know, and maybe some of you are doing this for yourselves, where you used to have stability. It's like right now you're finding the strength to complete this and rebuild, like rebuilding. Wow. All right. Yeah. Your hopes and your fears, the Ace of Pentacles. I do. I think that some of you are tired of being in a situation where the same things keep happening over and over again. And looking at the Five of Swords, it's difficult. The Ace of Pentacles being in your hopes and fears, you're hoping for that realistic, practical new beginning that is going to take you the long haul. That is why I love that Ace. It's realistic, and it is about continued growth. It's not something that's going to burn out. It's not something that's going to drain out. But it's all about what you do with it. You may be looking at like an end of a cycle where you thought that there was stability, but it continues to be a problem, and somebody may not be happy with the fact that you have something else coming through. But like I said, though, looking at the Tower, you're going to have to make drastic changes for you. Again, with the Queen of Wands being there, you are more important right now. Like, you're more important than this. You know, but again, the fact that it's there to me is suggesting that this opportunity is there for you. But are you going to be able to make the most of it? And what does that mean? You know, when I go back to the Tower, like, geez, man. Oh, and then coming out. Why? Why? The moon. It bothers me. When you're looking at the moon, you kind of move into this place where there's not a lot of clarity. Like I've always said, it doesn't fully illuminate your path. It's really about you needing to get to a place of illumination and clarity. But right now, it's like being stuck in the illusions, projecting fears and anxieties onto something, you know, not being in a good spot emotionally. You may have somebody else that's like trying to keep you in an illusion, looking at the Five of Swords connected to it. Now, I still feel like this is about you, but I don't think that there's a lot of clarity on whether or not you may want to like connect with someone because of the Three of Cups being there. Okay, so let's just start from the beginning here. Again, not a lot of clarity, right? Not the best time to make any kind of decisions. Now, you come into this with the Knight of Pentacles. I don't feel like this is about you procrastinating. I think that, you know, you're moving slowly and you're being cautious about opportunities that are coming through because, again, this is your hopes and fears. But, you know, the Knight of Pentacles is very methodical in the way that he does things. And when you're looking at the Queen of Pentacles and moving to this, when we're talking about you, again, like with the Queen of Wands being there, I still feel like it's about you and your confidence and the fact that you don't need this. You don't need it. I don't ever see the Queen of Pentacles as somebody who needs to go through any of that. Like she knows how to take care of herself, you know? But I also feel like you're getting to a place where you're getting a little bit more grounded. And I think that you're starting to look at things a little bit differently if you're dealing with this. Now, when you're looking at the Three of Cups coming out, we could be talking about, you know, you not having a lot of clarity, and maybe there are some people coming through that may be kind of helping you as far as that goes. Like, I don't see this as like the cackling hen syndrome. I feel more so that there's a question, though, on whether or not to like connect or to build friendships with somebody or a group of people. And it may be that you need to drastically change the people that are around you if they are like keeping you in a spot where you're not really sure where you're moving. Now, the other thing though too is with the Three of Cups, like reunion keeps coming up. So it's a question of whether or not you really need to do this. And with the Queen of Pentacles, you don't need it. You don't need it. You know, and it would have been different if it would have been something other than the moon. Like, I don't know. I just think that for some of you, there needs to be drastic changes as far as the people in your life because you have plans. You have plans that you are working on for you. And that's basically it. And instead of getting caught up in this continuous battle, it's like, no, things need to like drastically change. Otherwise, you're just going to see the same thing over and over again. This is your opportunity. This is for you. If you want to continue stability, then you're going to have to make things change, right? But like, once this happens, or once you finally find the courage to like do this, again, I go back to everything is beautiful. It's like you're tapping back into your own power, especially with the Queen of Pentacles coming out of this. You know, but I still feel like this is the same type of energy that we're looking at. You know, and it's all about getting to this place here where I feel like you're turning your back on this. You don't need this. You don't have to have this in your life anymore. You can create stability. You can get back to a place where you feel grounded and stable. But, you know, with the Knight of Pentacles, it bothers me because like I said, I don't see it as you like dragging ass on a situation. You have plans. You have plans that you're like methodically working toward, but you have somebody else in your space that may be confusing you on this. All right. For those of you who are single, I mean, look at it. That's perfect. It's perfect. Once you get to know this person or you allow them to get to know you, you're looking at a really like good connection here with the Two of Cups. I mean, come on, right? Like you may have somebody coming through. Oh, Cap. It's beautiful. I want to be Capricorn. I love it. But it's just saying though, like before you jump into a full-on relationship, because you may be so like wrapped up in each other that like it gets quick, like things go quickly, which I feel like is a possibility here. Just make sure that, you know, you feel comfortable with each other, but like it's a good thing. Now, for those of you who are in a relationship, love yourself first. I always get hesitant about that because it makes me think that there's something going on where you're not feeling good. But with the Ace of Wands being there, you know, it really is, right, like walking away from the past, right? Because of the two in the fire there. It's over. You're at a new beginning here. There's more passion. You know, if you're trying, though, too, to get, like, pregnant, because that does come up with the Ace of Wands, right? Like, don't beat yourself up over it. You know what I'm saying? If it's not happening. But I don't know. I get the feeling of, you know, not like forcing a new beginning here. Like, if you've been through difficulties where you need to like do some more self-love, like I feel like it's going to open up to like a better connection. I mean, both of you look really good as far as that goes. But definitely, you know, respect yourself. But like with the Ace of Wands, it's good. Like it's good. And everything is beautiful. Everything is beautiful. But I do think that some of you are going to have to make some drastic changes, especially with people that you are dealing with because of these two showing up in the moon, because like you don't need it. You don't need to have that in your life. But, you know, I worry a little bit. It's like, I worry that for some of you, you may have somebody that's like stepping in and trying to block you from that new beginning that you're wanting. Okay, Cap, so the more that I look at this, I think that you know, like I think that you know that something is coming back around to create stability for you because you're hoping and fearing this. But I think that some of you are in a situation right now where you know that things need to change, like drastically need to change, right? And with these two, yeah, I do see you pulling on your inner resolve here, but then being more confident in yourself, especially when it comes to creating stability for you. Now, like I said before, I do think that for some of you, somebody needs to move the hell out, or you're going to have to. Because I still feel like because of these two together and then the Three of Cups showing up, there needs to be drastic change when it comes to the people that are in your life right now, especially if they're, you know, keeping you in this space where there's not a lot of clarity. And then, like, purposely, like, trying to cause, like, arguments with you, though, too. Now, like I said, like, you don't need this. Like, you don't need it, right? And I do see you being a little bit cautious in dealing with certain people, but I don't know that you have a lot of clarity on how to move forward, though. I think that you know something's coming back around, another opportunity for you to have stability. Like I said, right? You see it, you know it's coming, but it's a question of whether or not you're going to stay in a repeating cycle of this. I mean, with the Five of Swords, no. You know, and the other thing that I feel like with that too, especially with the Three of Cups, is like somebody purposely trying to hold you down. But again, with the Queen of Wands being the overall and looking at the Tower, it's like almost like grabbing your lady balls and crashing everything down and changing it for good. But again, that's your advice. Whether or not you do that, I don't know. You know, and it may be because you are having to support other people, though, too. Now, on the other hand, you may have people coming through that may be giving you some assistance and maybe trying to help you see some clarity. You know, I always try to stay hopeful when it comes to that. But, like, when you're talking about tapping into your personal power and everything being beautiful and seeing the Queen of Wands, yeah. Yeah. I mean, this was, like, a heavy hitter for me when I started looking at these two. Like, damn, man. But I would say to you, as far as the moon coming out, that opportunity is still there for you. You know, if there isn't a lot of clarity, then now is not the time to make decisions. I think maybe slow movement is the best way to go. But, you know, again, there is that part of it, though, that came through for me where some of you may have to look at the people that are around you, you know, before you drastically change everything. But, like, it needs to happen, though. But you don't need it. You don't need that Five of Swords, damn it. Now, as far as relationships go, getting to know each other in the Two of Cups, yeah. I want to be Capricorn. That's beautiful. Just take the time to get to know each other. And then if you do, looking at the Two of Cups, yes, yes, that's a really good connection, and that's beautiful. Now, for those of you who are in a relationship, I always get iffy with this one. Love yourself first, and then the Ace of Wands. There's definitely a new passionate beginning here. But, you know, before you start a new cycle in your relationship, it's important that you have, you know, love for yourself, respect for yourself, basically. And like I said, if we're looking at like fertility here, you know, don't beat yourself up over the fact that, you know, you may not be able to get pregnant right now. Like, I don't know. I just feel like that for some of you. And for some of you, you may be having babies. And congratulations. Relationships look good. What is going on here may have to do with other people around you, whether they're friends or family. Like, I don't really see this so much as like a relationship issue. It could be for some of you. But like I said, things are going to have to drastically change if you're going to get to a place of illumination and clarity, and not being in a situation where people may be trying to keep you confused though either.